from the latest Action Network podcast.
If you owe your girl a date on a Saturday night, this might be the one. You could be like, look, it's Conference Championship Saturday, and we're going on a date, because the games are pretty bad on paper. We'll start at 7:30 Eastern on ABC, Virginia at Clemson.
How can you say Clemson is not worth a watch on TV? Dabo Swinney told me this week that all the media is against Clemson and that they're a terrible team and that we're looking to drop them to number 20. I mean, you just can't have anything negative around this Clemson team right now. He has done a masterful job of turning personalities in the media around and giving it as motivation to his players and his program to be fired up against a Virginia team and then to head into the college football playoff feeling like an underdog, although he may not be an underdog in the game.
Yeah, but I'm still waiting for Dabo to quit, by the way. He said he's going to quit once college players start getting paid while he's making tens of millions of dollars. I don't think he's quitting, by the way. So, yeah, he's done a great job. Venables has done a spectacular job with that defense and transforming him. Isaiah Simmons is a stud. But the whole defense, they lost so much talent. They switched schemes, and they're still just dominant. Now, they haven't played anyone all year. I mean, just to show you some – but with all the talent, their coaching – this is one of the top 3 teams in the country. But just to show you how funny this is, there are 28.5-point favorites here. Over-under is taking some money, and it's blasted through 55. A key number is up to 57.5. But just to show you how ridiculous this Clemson schedule has been, they were favored by at least 24 points in all but one game. And that game that they were favored by 16.5, 17 at home against Texas A&M. That means they were favored by an average of just under 32 points in 12 regular season games this year. And now they're almost favored by that in the conference championship. But still, we are both believers in Clemson. They've especially turned it on. I mean, look, I think that there were some struggles early on in the year on the offense with Trevor Lawrence, and he was missing Renfro. He was forcing some throws. The receivers weren't all the way healthy as well. But they've turned it on late in the year. Lawrence is on fire. A little too late for your Heisman ticket, but they've won their last 7 by an average margin of 40 and none fewer than 31 points, which is what you would need them to do to cover this number. I look at this matchup and I say, I actually, make it closer to 20. I mean, some numbers out there, these people project the numbers for this are all over the place. I think you make it 30. Is that correct?
Yeah, 30.
I've seen some that S&P makes it 20. I make it around 25. So at 20.5, maybe there's some value in Virginia, but nope. I just don't see anything. Like, I don't understand how, first of all, their defense, their metrics are a lot worse than what you see for the full season because their secondary has been a mess, and it just allows a ton of explosive passing plays down the field. And, they've been hurt, and they really miss an All-American corner in Bryce Hall. And their defense just hasn't been the same since he went down. So Clemson it could perfectly exploit that. They also should dominate the line of scrimmage and be able to run the ball. On the other side of the ball, this Virginia offense, it's really just a one-man show. It's a one-man band with Bryce Perkins. Clemson's defense, whenever they faced a mobile quarterback this year, they've completely shut them down. Venables just has to scheme up, okay, how can we contain Bryce Perkins? They can't really run the ball. It's not an efficient offense. They can't really throw the ball down the field. They do play really slow, and that's what they're going to have to do here, play extremely slow. But I just don't know if they can move the sticks consistently to keep Clemson off the field, and I don't know if they can stop Clemson with their secondary issues. The one advantage they have is on special teams, but if you're relying on just special teams to cover 28 against Clemson, you might be in trouble. I mean, Virginia leads the nation in kick return yardage, but Clemson also leads the NCAA in touchbacks. Now, part of that's because they score a lot, but they do get a lot of touchbacks. But I mean, Clemson's special teams stink, and that's about it. Everything else is elite. So that's not enough for me to back Virginia. Maybe Bryce Perkins has some magic. Maybe Clemson goes up and they say, look, we have bigger fish to fry. Let's get the backups in. We don't care about running this up. And they go super conservative, and then Virginia gets in the back door. But this line around 28, unless it gets to 31, no thank you. I will be passing. If the over-under keeps going up, I might play the under because I don't see Virginia really doing much of anything, and they'll be playing slow while doing it, and Clemson eventually will take their foot off the gas.
There's just so many things. I mean, it was brought to my attention that SP Plus was like 21.5 or 18.5 or some crazy number way off what we have. And my number is just like, 2 points off of the current market right now. But if you look into the advanced stats, it's ugly for Virginia. Right, so Clemson's defense is second in the nation in sack rate. Virginia's offensive line is 105th in protecting Bryce Perkins. That's not good. Clemson's 11th in defending pass explosiveness. Bryce Perkins doesn't have any pass explosiveness, one of the worst in the nation. So, if you try to look through Clemson's schedule, and you're right, they haven't played anybody, and you try to find some dual threat quarterbacks, Kellen Mond from Texas A&M, maybe Michael Cunningham, Louisville. Perkins is better than those guys, but those guys didn't do anything. They didn't rush for any yards. They had QB ratings that were just, the worst of the season for those individual quarterbacks. I think the factor that you mentioned is the biggest aspect of this game, which is the Virginia secondary. Virginia is 74th in opponent pass explosiveness. That's not good against a Trevor Lawrence that is hitting Justin Ross and T. Higgins in stride.
That's with Bryce Hall and their fully healthy secondary all year, which they don't have now.
Yes. And so if the secondary is ranking 74th against pass explosiveness, I don't see how in the world you could back a Virginia ticket here. And not, it's no disrespect. They're a really good team. Good job winning the Coastal. They're going to give Bryce Perkins some sleep, give him 3 weeks of rest, stick him in a bowl game, and he's going to be a lot of fun to watch against a weak front seven. But this is not the spot. And if Clemson is sitting around at the end of the night, they're going to see every other game come to an end. And, they're going to be able to, I think, dictate the score. The way Dabo's been acting with the media and the way Dabo's been talking to his players and the administration and the way he's handling everything, I just can't see him getting to 21 and saying, we're up by enough. That's good. Everybody take off. Right? I don't see it.
You do have to worry about your health at some point. That's all I'm saying with the backdoor chance, because they're going to the college football playoffs.
The players are not going to see the field again for 3 weeks. So, there is something about keeping them in there just because they're not going to see a field for a long time.
That's fair. Will you wager this? I say, now I will be rooting for Virginia. I'm saying if Clemson loses this game, they're done. They're not in the college football playoff. You agree or disagree?
I agree, 100%.
Okay. So if you're Team Chaos, you have a reason to sit down at night and then just root for Virginia from the start.